Happy Monday, Anna.
Hi, happy Monday to you too. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so let me share the screen. All right, can you see the screen with the sample resume on it?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right, perfect. All right, awesome. We'll get started here momentarily. Appreciate you all.
You sound
Okay,
much
go ahead.
better. Were you able to get rest over the weekend?
I did actually. My voice is in and out, okay, but it's better. Yesterday I literally tanked. So I had no class yesterday. Luckily, yesterday was Easter, but I was literally just hot sweats and everything else. It was chills and all that, and just stayed bedridden the majority of the day yesterday. But I think that rest did me good. I think it's better. Sometimes you just got to check out. But thanks for asking. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I'm feeling better, but like I said, my voice is in and out. We'll hang in there. I hope all of you are doing okay. I hope everybody else's health is okay. Um, so I know there's been a lot with families and stuff like that. So we'll get through it together. Hey everyone, I just posted in the chat. There was a couple of you that I had appointments with over the weekend and I was not able to meet with you all. So again, I just was not feeling very well at all. But with that said, right, we'll go ahead and schedule for tomorrow and Wednesday. So just let me know and we'll make it happen, okay? I definitely appreciate you all's patience and flexibility. Again, it happens, you know, the human element or what have you, but definitely want to make sure you guys get the time, okay? Okay, so it looks like we're at 3 o'clock. It looks like we're at, I think, 41 people at the moment. So we'll go ahead and get started. Today, again, I'm going to go ahead and introduce, we're talking about commercial resumes, cover letters, negotiation skills as well, right, predominantly. And then what we're going to do is do a live session where those of you that want to share your resumes, just email them to me or one of the panelists, and we can definitely share them out and give you live guidance today, okay, and how they crosswalk to different jobs or what have you. So what I want to start off with, I put this together for you guys. It's actually in the handouts. So in the handout section in the GoToWebinar, and you'll also get it in the Nifty PM area as well. So again, I put this together, sample resume, right? What you should do is only put your name, okay? Obviously a good contact number, normally a cell, okay? If in fact that's what you use, most of us do. A good email, and again, the email should be more professional driven, right? So, you know, instead of livewire@gmail.com, right? You know, even first initial last name is appropriate, right? Make it professional, right? Makes it a lot easier too when we're trying to follow up with you, you know, to kind of find you in our cached emails, right? Or what have you, when we have a first name, last name, or first initial last name. So try to make it professional, remember, because, you know, again, the other stuff can be your catch-all for all the other personal stuff, but you want to make one that's a little bit more professional, right? And then don't put your address, your physical address. Don't even put your city and state, okay? Only put your city and state if in fact you are applying to a local job in that city and state for obvious reasons, right? Because here's what happens, right? If you put in, there's what we call location bias. It just is, right? Because for instance, I live in Northern Virginia, okay? So if I'm looking for even remote at the moment, right? Even with a government federal position, okay? Come on, even to get here, you're going to have to get badged up, right? There's a lot of things. So, you know, of course, I'm going to have to pay for that cost or whatever, a variety of things, right? So, and of course, there might be a hybrid scenario, right? So, again, it's a lot easier too, even in an in-person job, right? To hire locally because see, that person can give a 2-week notice and then be on site, vice risking somebody that has to relocate, let's just say from California to here, right? People back out all the time, you know, and it's a longer window too by the time we're able to get you here. It could be a month, 6 weeks or whatever to get you onboarded and then start with that client anyways. So but you can negotiate relocation costs and things like that. But wait to get in. Like, don't, your resume should get you in the door to the interview itself. So you want to get into the yes pile in any way, shape, or form, okay? Now, you're going to provide a LinkedIn link, right? And if they go there, many of us do, okay? Then they're going to see where you're at anyways, okay? So, but what I'm saying is, you know, put your name, your contact number, okay? A professional email, okay? And of course your LinkedIn link. That's all that should be on the top here. And then you want to start off with an objective. Why am I saying that? Because, you know, again, that's another reason why, you know, you want us to, when we're looking through the resumes, first of all, what job are you going for? You know, there's lots of different jobs that might be in that specific company. So let's just say at ABC Inc. has 4 different cybersecurity engineering positions, okay? You want to be specific on the job position, location as well, if there's multiple locations. So they might say cybersecurity engineer, multiple locations, might say Atlanta, Georgia, might say, I don't know, Sarasota, Florida, you know, might have Tulsa, Oklahoma, I don't know, whatever, right? So, but which one are you going for? So be specific as you can to get yourself in the right pile, okay? And be specific with the title of the position, SOC analyst or whatever, cloud security engineer, right? At whatever company it is. Okay, be as specific as possible because again, that helps us put you in the right pile. Incredibly important, okay? Then you want to start off with summary of qualifications, right? So put a good one in here. And again, a really good one to get over the hump of 3 to 5 years experience, okay, this is what you're going to do it. This is the strategy behind it. Okay, now you're not lying, you're being absolutely honest. You never want to lie. Okay, so I'm not telling you to lie. Please do not get that from me because that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is all of the cybersecurity experience that you're gathering right now does not negate any of your prior work history. Okay, no matter what it is. Okay, so in this case, right, and you'll see in this resume there's a customer service, financial services, and IT. Right, so you're going to say solid professional with however many years of cumulative experience in customer service, whatever it is like you guys have, right? An ambitious and results-driven professional, right, with however many months of classroom and lab experience, right? This could be 4 years, right, or whatever. In hunt analyses, network security, system security, etc., governance, risk and compliance, right? Strategy analyses, threat intelligence, log detection, etc., right? Seeking to strengthen security for organizations by driving risk reduction, decreasing damage to loss of data or intellectual property, etc. Strong ability to use data-driven analytic tools, to gain leadership buy-in. Possesses strong interpersonal skills, works well with cross-functional teams, has great customer relations and presentation skills. Okay, so you're going to put that in there, right? So this is cumulative work history. Okay. Then you're going to put, especially those of you that are new in cyber, then you're going to put cybersecurity labs and projects, right? So these are some examples of, okay, you can take out the dashes, but I mean, these are some examples of some different projects you may have done, okay, over your, academic, right, and or internship programs or whatever you've got, okay? You want to go right into then education and certification. So I just put examples here. Cybersecurity professional certification, UCF, for instance, graduate, February 2023. Bachelor's of, science, computer science, whatever you have. And then, you got, for instance, Splunk fundamental certification, whenever you got it, has no expiration date. Okay, Security Plus, you can say currently studying, test date anticipated for or whatever. Be on the proctored exam list, right? I mean, don't just put studying for because come on, everybody's going to say that as a fail. Really, right? But I mean, we know how it is. Like, people, it's procrastination. Okay. So again, put yourself on a proctored exam list because there's only so many times they do it per year. Okay. And at least that kind of pushes you and holds your own self accountable in order to actually pursue that certification. Okay. That shows you're actively studying, actively pursuing, and you're on the proctored exam list, right? So, at least we know you're going to follow through, right? ITIL Foundations, Cloud Plus or AWS Cloud Partition or whatever cloud, okay? CEH, of course, that's what I recommend for penetration testers or an OSCP. And of course, the CAP, which is now the CGRC, right? Studying for anticipated, whatever you want to do. But those are some basic stuff, right, that you should have on your resumes that you should be pursuing, okay? As you are lending towards a cybersecurity professional. I don't care if it's engineering, I don't care if it's cloud, I don't care whatever it is, right? So, and then of course, core competencies, right? Familiarity with Google Cloud Platform, Cloud Security Alliance, familiarity with NIST 800 series guidelines, right, etc. CMMC and ISO 20. So this is stuff you can actually put, on your resume. Like you can copy and paste whatever transcends that you've actually done, okay? Professional associations, you want to put those too, SANS.org, right? SANS Security Certifications and Research, OECG.org, the Governance, Risk, and Compliance with Standards and Certification, ISA, OWASP, right? Whatever, PMP, kind of stuff. You notice how the work history doesn't even happen until later, right? Because we're not even looking at your work history at this point. We're looking at to make sure who you are, where you're located, right? What are you seeking? What's your interest in? Okay, what position are you looking at? Okay, how many years of experience do you have, kind of stuff, right? You can say cumulative experience, okay? And all those stuff, right? Education and certifications, right? All that kind of stuff, okay? Now we're getting into the work history. And if you notice here, I put this in here, you can literally copy and paste it on your resumes, okay? Cybersecurity professional, internship, right? Or intern, however you want to say it, I don't care. March 2023 to present, okay? With my company. And you can literally copy and paste this. Centralized vulnerability identification and management, threat feed monitoring and updating, SIM tool dashboard reporting creation and monitoring. So you're going to be do that coming up like next week or so, because you're going to be still, it's jump cloud administration and monitoring, Active Directory Federation services in the cloud. That's all within jump cloud. OU, GPO policy management, MDM policy management, gap analyses using, RMF, NIST SP 853 Rev 5, CMMC, NIST SP, etc. ISO, developing findings, remediation plans of actions and milestones. Policy procedure development, see activities on Metaversity. I'm hoping that everything should be good to go and you're going to be able to start diving in there, but that's okay. Regardless, you'll be able to start doing that. Weekly activity reports, weekly presentation and communications of risk, remediation, strategy development and mitigation implementation kind of stuff, right? That's a lot. That's a lot, okay? That's a lot. And then of course, here I have some examples here, right? So if you were a full-time student, right, or whatever, full-time student, part-time, whatever, you can say, I would say, even if you had a day job, I would say full-time student, and then I'd always put right under it, or whatever, part-time, or whatever you're working at. I would make this the queen of that, even at the same time frame, okay? No joke. And then I gave some examples. So I said, like barista coffee house. Some of you have varied backgrounds. It's okay. This is an example. And this is how you can tie in what you did, let's just say if you were a barista, right? You can tie in not just making coffee, but what'd you do that ties into cyber, right? Customer service, hello, manage point of sale systems, attention to detail, manage, just to say 5 members during shifts, wrote shift change reports, cash management, all these kinds of stuff, whatever it is, okay? I'm just saying, try to tie in certain skill sets, right? That would translate well into cyber and IT, right? Volunteer Roadrunner Club, right? So this is just an example, okay? So let's just say you built a computer lab, right, for kids maybe, which included 12 MacBooks, 10 Windows, 10 laptops, 1 gateway router, 2 hubs, or whatever. I'm just saying as an example, right? You're going to tie it into, okay, the IT component, okay? Financial analyst, Bank of Wiley de Coyote, right? So served as bookkeeper, data entry specialist, invoice approver for a small office bank in Sarasota, Florida. Worked my way up from teller, customer service, and cash attendant with strong attention to detail, knowledge of Excel, QuickBooks, and point of sale systems. I'm just saying these are examples, okay? But you get my drift. And then for those that were actually stay-at-home moms or whatever, this is how you can tie this in, because you can say sabbatical, okay? You don't want to leave any gaps on your resume. You want to be blatantly honest. Notice how I don't leave any gaps at all. Okay, I take it from, and yes, I do a January to December, but you know what I mean? Don't leave any gaps, okay? The gaps are what leaves a question. Just be honest. Say sabbatical, okay? January 2016 to December 2016, or if it's 2 years, whatever it is. Chose to stay at home to take care of a child with special needs, or stayed at home to take care of a sick or ill parent, or took time for health reasons, cancer, whatever, or stayed home to take care of the child as a new mom, of my child as a new mom, or parent to save childcare costs, whatever it is, okay? There's a way you can just be honest, okay? Be honest. They're not going to hold it against you. It's when you leave it off your resume and leave a gap in the time. It's okay, what did you do? But just be honest. Like here's an executive assistant for Acme Corp, right? So answered phones, service desk, typed executive correspondence, itineraries, managed schedule, light IT administration, traveled 80%. Manage tight deadlines, prepared presentations and graphics, set up conference rooms, customer logistics, etc. Right? I mean, these are some ways you can kind of tie in some of the skills that we all need, right? And then I have professional references. I put my legit stuff in there. You can all copy and paste that. And then, and then you need to take, I would put it on your resume. I would list it, okay? I would list your professional resumes on your resume, especially for those of you entry level. And of course, you can put mine, of course, which is here, okay? You could use, whoever it is from your academic, like professors, and you can use, of course, even your non-IT professional references, your prior work history, right? Why does that matter, right? Because again, if I'm going to take a risk on somebody, I want to see that, hey, at least you showed up, at least you performed, right? At least you did what you said you were going to do, and you're reliable, right? Kind of stuff, right? That makes a difference. So I would list three references on your resume. Now, here's the deal. Notice how this is what, 2 pages? 3 pages. 3 pages. Okay. This is a good thing, and here's why. Everybody's going to tell you keep it to 1 to 2 pages. BS. Nope. Because if I see a 1-page resume or even a 2-page resume, okay, I'm going to think absolutely entry level, 100%, right? Wouldn't you? Okay. So I'm not saying write a book, all right? But what I'm saying is with IT and stuff like that, you're going to have to list certain things that you have actually done, okay, quantitatively, certain technologies that you've actually been familiar with, hands-on, those types of things. And yeah, naturally, you know, your resume is going to explode. Now, do you need a 20-pager? No, but this is appropriate because right here within the first page, if you will, you've got your objective, your summary of qualifications, some labs and projects, your education certifications, right? You're answering the mail already within that first page of what they're looking for. The years, the cumulative years of experience, right? Kind of stuff, right? And then of course you get into the other stuff, core competencies, professional associations. Then you start getting into your work history, right? So full-time student, whatever it is, right? And stuff like that. So again, and look, and I only put like a couple sentences on each, and look, I already took it to 3 pages, but that's okay because my point to that is, you know, it shows that you're not like right out of high school kind of thing, because there's a difference, right? There's a difference with somebody, and I'm not saying right out of high school is bad. I'm just saying somebody that's got 15 years, 5 years, 8 years of work history has a bona fide knowledge, just life skills that cannot be matched. I'm just saying, right? So if somebody just comes from, you know, I don't know, mechanic or whatever, okay? You know, those are legitimate work skills, right? That somebody has actually gained and different knowledge of how to manage teams, how to work within teams, customer service, right? All that kind of stuff, right? So, you know, don't negate, folks, what you've done. All you do is take it and tie it into, okay, how it relates to cybersecurity. That's all you do, you know, IT and stuff like that. So here's a really good example of that. So you guys have this all in the handouts, okay? Now I'm going to go to next, the cover letter. So I kind of put one together for you guys, okay? So again, your name, right? Do not put your address, okay? But do not put your address. I shouldn't have done that, okay? But anyways, your name at whatever, gmail.com, and of course a number. Don't put your address. That needs to be taken off, okay? That's not anybody's address. It's a fake address anyways. But okay, so today, because that's the way you normally used to do it, like old school. Okay, obviously today's date, okay? If you have the hiring manager's name or anything like that, you can get, absolutely, that's awesome. You know, or just say, you know, to whom it may concern, if you need to do it like that and what have you. But, you know, I was excited to see your listing for the cybersecurity engineer position on Indeed, right, or LinkedIn or whatever. As a cybersecurity engineer with however many years of experience managing organizational security for external threats and risks, I look forward to the opportunity. You know, I just made it up, like just. It's made up, okay? But I'm just saying, you know, just come with how it relates to the job description, okay? It needs to tie it in though, right? So like on this one, like for instance, if I was going to look at, let's see, well, let me consider that real quick. I had one up earlier. What happened here? Jobs. See if I can find it again. There was an associate one that I saw in here earlier. Okay, that's all right. Let me see. Hold on a second. Okay, so like this one says, for instance, participating in managing level cybersecurity incidents and assist in their resolution. Collaborate with senior engineers to enhance the internal SIM or SOAR tools, right? for improved IR efficiency, help train more junior SOC analysts that join the team, right? So like, for instance, for those of you, by the way, okay, that, are getting leadership experience here, right? And we're going to be switching out this week. So everybody, more and more people are going to get the opportunity for lead experience. But you're going to be able to say, help train, help lead, help, just a variety of things that you can actually put in your resume, right? That matters. I mean, it matters, right? So, that's additional experience you're gleaning from this internship program, right? So, here's at least 1 year of experience as part of a SOC. This is a necessity, right? Familiarity with any of the lead SIM tools such as Splunk, QRadar, Logarithm, etc., right? A friendly personality and effective communication skills, right? Et cetera, right? So let's look at like cybersecurity. Hold on a second. Let me look at cybersecurity engineer. Okay. Let's see if I can find a junior one here. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can look at this one. Okay. So you want to tie it in, right? So for instance, since we're saying cybersecurity engineer, right? Obviously the stuff you need to crosswalk and make sure it's on your resume, right? And that's why on that sample resume, it has a lot of the stuff in there, okay? So, it has it, just use it, okay? This has got 2 to 3 years experience, and thorough understanding of risk management framework, that's NIST, okay? 3 to 5 years hands-on experience with Palo Alto, Fortify, etc., right? EMAS, CSAM, etc. Preferred, okay, previous federal consulting experience, whatever, I'm just saying. But what I'm trying to say is you tie it into how you would be a fit for that job, right? So for those of you that maybe are veterans, right, or whatever, you guys have federal experience, you better capitalize off of that. That matters. Even if it's in a non-cybersecurity element, you have, the business, culture, you can speak in acronyms. I'm just saying, so make sure you leverage that is all I'm trying to say. Okay, so it does matter. Here's a commercial run. So this has prepare, maintain, and implement, information system security plan, right? It's got NIPRNet, CIPRNet, JWICS, right? This is, even though I know it says, yeah, Cherokee Federal, okay, yeah, it's definitely with the federal customer though. But it says minimum of 1 year experience using EMAS, okay? High school diploma equivalent is required, bachelor degrees in IT, master's degree preferred. But, again, but you can work around, it says minimum 5 years experience as a cybersecurity professional, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, but you're going to be honest though, okay? You're going to talk about the cumulative experience and then how much experience IT and cyber that you have, right? That's in addition to, right, that, if you will. So that's what you're going to do. Again, there's a lot of you that are not right out of high school and you're going to leverage that to your advantage, okay? So, all right, so anyways, take this, just don't use the address. Don't use the address, okay? Just your name, your email, this, and if you want, you can put your LinkedIn profile link there. But anyways, this is an example of one you can literally just use and tailor it to your needs, okay? It's a fictitious one nonetheless, but and then of course I want to slide over to the LinkedIn about section. This is also in the Discord channel, okay? But I also provide it as a handout here. You can literally copy and paste this bad boy and put this in your LinkedIn about section. What do I mean by that? Okay, so again, in order to come up with on any type of searches in here, okay, and I'm talking from the employer's perspective, okay, when I'm searching for somebody, okay, when I'm searching for stuff, okay, what comes up, honest to God, they don't care about this. Like a lot of people put cybersecurity professional here. Okay, fine, great. Nobody cares, okay, because you can put whatever. Okay, where it matters is here, the about section. So you can literally copy and paste this here, okay, and modify it to your liking, okay, certificates and training, whatever certificates you're getting, you're studying for, whatever. These have a lot of keywords and search terms that employers look for when they're looking for profiles that will be a match. Okay, notice how I, G Suites, Microsoft Server, Active Directory, that kind of stuff. You can add to this, whatever, at least gives you a start, okay, that you can utilize. And if you don't have an about section, all you have to do is go up here to the top here, okay, you do more, okay, and you can add, okay, add profile section or whatever, however yours is set up. But add profile section, right? You can add different things. Add an about section. If you don't have one, you can literally copy and paste that. Okay. So super awesome because so again, you have this, you can literally copy and paste a lot of the stuff, put in your resume, just take out the dashes. Because I literally had that listed out, but don't do that. Just take out the dashes, okay, make it, polish it up a bit. Okay, but at least it gives you something that has all the key search terms, it has everything everybody's looking for. It even has the updated job description for the internship program, okay, and all that other stuff. Okay, and it has different ways in which, like I said, depending upon what you did or whatever, whether it's a sabbatical or what have you, or as your finance, right? You can literally, and some of you work with, some of you have always brought it, well, I work my way up. So how do I put that in my, let's just say you work 5 years for a company, okay, but different positions, okay? You don't have to list every single position you had. No, you put the current position, okay? You put the length of time you were with that company, because that says a lot. And then, you say what you did, doing now, and then you say, like in this case, work my way up from a teller, customer service, and cash attendant, right? Whatever. So you kind of do that, right? You don't have to put, you don't have to list each one of them individually with different job descriptions. You just summarize it here, and this says right there, and then I understand. Okay, great. It doesn't look like different jobs. It just looks like, yeah, you stay with a company, and we know that there's lateral movement or there's career progression within a company, and that says a lot about you, right? So you may in fact decide to stay within your current company and now get a job in cyber. Okay, cool. So your current job will be cybersecurity engineer, whatever, you know what I mean? And that's how you would do that, okay? So, and work your way up from whatever, however you want to do that, okay? So anyways, this gives you some examples to kind of answer a lot of the questions, the common questions I've been getting about how to kind of word certain things on the resume to kind of turn it from a potential negative into a positive. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about before I start opening up resumes, live resumes, is negotiations, okay? Excuse me. So hold on a second, let me go into jobs. Oh, I was already there. Hold on a second. Okay, so let's go here, right? All right, so hold on, so let me get some water. Okay, so let me type in the associate. Again, associate or junior, those are two of the that are going to come up for entry level stuff. Some of you, though, are not entry level. Some of you are mid level. Some of you actually, depends on where you're at. But okay, so hold on a second. Let me, senior principal, staff. Okay, whatever, that's fine. Okay, so let me just do. Okay, so this is just an example. Okay, so staff, cybersecurity engineer. Okay, remote. Okay, so let me see if there's a range on here. Okay, this one does not have a range. Okay, so this is what's going to happen is, all right, the first thing you're going to be asked if there's no range is they're going to ask you what's your rate. Okay, if I were to ask any of you right now, what's your rate? What would you say? Anybody want to offer that right now? Just as an example, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just going to teach you how to get around it.
55,000.
90
Okay.
to 100,000.
Okay.
130,000.
Right. So okay. So no, but I say this because
I have no idea.
Right. Right.
Atlanta's
Exactly.
expensive, so 130K.
Right. So my point to that is, right, is okay. So here's the deal. You don't even answer that. What you say is, what's the range of this position? What's the range of this position? Why do you want to answer that? Because let's just say one of you said 55,000, another one you said 90,000, one said 130,000. Okay, but all those could still be low. I mean, extremely low. Maybe the range is 150 to, let's just say 210. Okay, how would you know that? And see, the thing is, they're not going to tell you because again, it's a money making opportunity. I don't care if it's a W-2, a direct hire, or if you're a 1099, it doesn't matter, right? It's a money making opportunity. I mean, you build, let's just say you build a government $210 an hour, but if you can get away with paying $40 an hour for somebody, that gives you a huge profit margin. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? It's not like anybody's being purposely deceitful. But again, if you're okay with making 55,000, even though the job actually is 110,000, they're going to pay you 55,000 because you said that's okay. That's what you want. You get what you asked for, okay? And you get what you don't ask for also. So my point to that is the first thing you're going to say is what's the range for this position? Because you also want to see if it's even out of the ballpark for you, or like if it's too low, right? Say the person that's asking for 130 and that's your minimum, honestly, right? Then they say, well, the range is 90 to 110. Okay, then, you know, and you can ask them, is there any wiggle room for negotiation? There may not be any wiggle room for negotiation. 110 might be the highest they have, because that's the rate, that's the budget for that position. So okay, you're not going to deal with that then, right? Then move on, go look for something else. But, and then here's the other thing, if in fact, right, so let's just say now, okay, maybe it's 90K to, you know, 130K is the range. Okay, why is it so large of a range, right? Well, here's the deal, right? So everybody comes at different skill sets, knowledge, skills, and abilities, right? So let's just say for this one, okay, let's just walk this through. This one has very little stuff. I don't even like this as an example, honestly. Let me move on to another. Move on to another one, okay? Let's see if I can find. Let's see. Let me maybe a junior SOC analyst. I need something with more meat to give you guys a proper example. Okay, let me see. Hybrid. Yeah, this one has at least a range. Okay, so this one's got 45 a year to 55,000 a year, right? Looks like. Okay, contract mid senior level. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example though. Okay, so but at least you know if this is too low for you. Okay, if this is too low, then don't go for it, right? This is with the U.S. courts. Okay, I mean they're being frank and honest with you. That's the highest they're going to go. Okay, it's 55 a year to 45 to 55 a year, right? 55,000 a year looks like. Okay, so anyways, this has got SOC analyst leads, got on-sites U.S. courts, okay? You know, and then of course must-haves. So again, even to get the high of that range, okay, even believe it or not, even to get the high of that range, the 55,000 per year, okay, if in fact that's correct, okay, you would need to then meet all the must-haves. Like you would have to meet every single one of these. You would have a bachelor, you need a bachelor degree with 8 years of experience. One of them mentioned IAT level 2 certifications like Security Plus. CISP is actually an IAT level 3, so I don't know why they put that here, but they obviously don't know how to write this thing. But this is proven experience working in 24/7, 365 SOC environment for 6 years, experience working with malware, ability to go through all the steps of analyzation of malware within a virtual sandbox, reporting out and developing a brief description of the actions taken by the malware, et cetera. So they're doing actually, you know, live behavioral analytics. You know, they're static and dynamic. So there's dynamic analytics is what they're expecting. Those are skills. And to me, that's 55 is way too low for that. That is ridiculously low. Where is this? This is in our backyard too, my backyard. That's ridiculously low. I would say don't even go for that. I think that that's ridiculous. And the fact that they should be embarrassed even asking that low, but okay, anyways, all right. But as an example, okay, as an example, right? So the range is 45 to 55 a year, it looks like. Okay, 1,000 a year. I don't know, I can't tell from that. Anyways, I'm just gonna guess it's 55,000 a year, which is still very, very low. It's just dumb. Anyways, I can't get over that because again, this is another mistake I think on their part. They probably copied and pasted or something like that. Oh, pay is 50 to 60 an hour, maybe some flex. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's better. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, that's per hour. It just didn't seem like it was obvious. Okay, that's fine. All right, so pay to 50 to 60, but that's the range. Okay, so if you were to have said then, okay, 55,000, right, which is what? I don't know, $25 an hour or something like that. How much is that per year? 55,000.
Repeat your question, Anna.
Yeah, how much is 55,000 per year per hour?
It looks like the
Like
50,
27?
yeah, that 50 per hour. If it's going to be working 4 days at 12 hours, that's like 115 a year.
Yeah, that's about right. And that's
Yeah,
better.
and 60 is 124 a year,
Yeah,
124.
that's much better. Yeah, that's exactly. So this is better then. It just makes, yeah, I don't like that. So, all right, no, that's better. That's comparable. So, but with that said, right? So now with the range, now knowing what the range is, okay. And this is now a decent range, so I do agree with this one now. But with that said, right? Say you had asked for the person that said $55,000 a year, right? Do you think they're going to tell you that this is, they could have paid you more? I mean, from the employer standpoint, if you're okay with making $55,000 an hour, do you think anyone would tell you that oh, we can pay you more?
Well,
Probably not.
I mentioned that price purely as
No.
a learning base, not so much as like 8 years in. If I was making 55,000 a year, I'd be pretty upset with myself, I think.
No, even at 1 year in, you should not be making $55,000 a year, is my point. But anyways, all I'm trying to say is, okay, no, it's a good, I'm not trying to point anything. All I'm trying to say is use it as an example. Even if you were to have said 85,000 a year, this is under the range. Okay, so on average, an employer is not going to say, oh yeah, well, by the way, we could pay you more than that. No, they're not, because they can make they're going to make a profit margin off of every hour we work. We're cash cows for folks, whether we're doing a W-2, which is a direct hire, or a 1099 or a C2C, right? I'm just being honest, okay? So that's what I'm saying, we get what we pay for. And us women too, where we say men make more than us, what I've learned over time, okay, is that men typically make more because they know typically what they just ask for it. I'm not trying to say put everybody in a bucket, but what I'm saying is we all need to know what to ask for and be confident with it. But ask what you do though is you ask what the range is to get out of the quagmire of agreeing to, let's just say, an $85,000 a year when you could have made $130,000 a year for that position. You get what I'm saying? So that's the point I'm trying to make with this. We get what we ask for. If we don't ask, we don't receive, right? And typically speaking, a lot of us will not even ask. And years ago, I didn't either. I would just be happy just to get the job. But again, here's what you can negotiate though, however, if you have the must-haves, okay? If you have all the must-haves, you can negotiate for the upper end, the $60 an hour, okay? If you only have, let's just say 3, maybe half of these, okay, or whatever, then you can negotiate for maybe a lower end, maybe 50, 55 an hour, okay, maybe 52, okay, maybe, right? You can't ask for 60 an hour if you don't meet all of these, okay? Do you see what I'm saying? So there's some negotiation, some wiggle room there. But your thing is you need to come at them with, don't give them a range, because it could be you could overprice yourself or you could underprice yourself, right? So always ask them what the range is. Okay, that's the biggest thing I'm going to tell you that I've learned over the years is, and don't say, because sometimes people will even say they'll match you, like my buddy Leonard. He'll say I'll match it or whatever. Yeah, but what's the range though, Leonard? I always get into it with him in a good way, because I would say, what's the range? Because that's the first thing you should ask for, right? Can you even pay 130,000? Can you even pay 150,000? Can you pay 99,000? I'm just saying, what is the range for this job? Or can I ask for 210,000 or 250,000, especially if it's a CISO level, right? I'm just saying, So, I don't know that unless you tell me what the range is. Now, a lot of these states are now trying to put forth laws forcing the hand at employers to literally put the range. So this one even says, okay, you should see a lot more ranges on there, but not every state has actually gone for that. This says 125 to 130. Okay, that's the range for that, right? So it's got, it says 8 years. Okay, so this is more mid-senior level, right? 8 years, it says responsibilities, 8 years of experience with information security, including penetration testing, IDS, etc., right? Splunk, Elk Stack, all that kind of stuff. Active TS or whatever, Q clearance, bachelor's degree, 8 years of relevant experience, IAM level 3, right, or IIT level, that's like CISP and plus kind of thing. And look at how, so it's ISO 9001, they're appraised of CMMI level 3 maturity. I don't know how that happened because they haven't even done them yet. They haven't even done the CMMI stuff yet for them. So That's interesting that they put that on there. Oh, that's for CMMI. Sorry, yes, CMMI, yes. I thought it's the CMMC. I'm out of it today still. All right, so yeah,
Anna,
that's
I'm sorry to
legitimate.
interrupt. May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I always negotiate, right? If I feel the pay is too low. And when they ask me what my range is, I always say, I'm totally open to discuss this with you. Can you please tell me what your pay range is? And it's 50-50. Sometimes they will give me their range, and sometimes they say, okay, well, what is your range? So sometimes we're going back and forth of not really saying a number. Well, what's your range? What's your range? So if that's the case, sometimes I'll just start high, and then I always negotiate. But is there a better way of kind of asking them what their ranges or going back with them so that they can definitely go first with their range without me having to start kind of high and then negotiating back and forth?
Yes,
Do you have that
excellent.
kind of?
So yes, and so here's the deal, and this is why I'm saying this too, is even, it doesn't matter if you're senior, entry level, whatever. You know, they need to give you the range just straight up. What you can do is do some research, right, on even on like Glassdoor, for instance, what they've paid other folks. Okay, you can actually look at that. So, you know, go look and try to find out what a similar salary that they paid for other similar qualified individuals, right? So now note that if you don't have much in your entry level and you only meet 3, let's just say out of the 5 required stuff, you're not gonna be able the high of the range. You'll be lucky to even get your foot in the door at the low end of the range. So even if let's just say it's 85 to 110, you can't be demanding 110. You just need to be lucky that you get an 85,000. But
Right.
if you, let's just say all 5 of those required, even at entry level, you can say, you know, I'd love to get in, you know, can I at least get in at 95? You know, that would be great, or whatever kind of thing. And, you know, sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they won't. You know, so, and then of course, when negotiating relocation, things like that, entry level, it's a little bit more difficult, right? Because you don't want to price yourself out of the market either. Okay, so that's, but you don't want to go too low either. You don't want to be lowballed. So that's why I say do some
Right.
research on them to find out what the salary is in case they do try to box you in for that. You know, because what you don't want, because this is what's happened to me even in the past. Because I used to, okay, so like I used to get in on a contract or whatever, and I'd be like, okay, wait, like, what the heck? Like 6 months later, there'd be somebody else. Like, I can run circles around this person. Like, why is this person making more money than me? Because they're not supposed to talk about it, but trust me, they do. Okay. So say you come in and you're making, let's just say 115,000. Somebody else comes in 6 months later doing the same thing, making 135,000, less certifications, less qualifications, less years of experience. And you're like, what the heck, man? Is it because I'm a woman? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? And I had to go back and think. It had nothing to do with that, actually. It had the fact that I didn't even ask. That
Right.
person asked, right? So think about that for a moment. And now that's what I say is don't blame anybody else but yourself, right? So I started then
Absolutely.
asking, you know, I started then saying, okay, let me do a root cause analysis, really what's going on. It had nothing the fact that I was a woman. It had everything the fact that I just didn't ask. So now I ask. And even it helped me also for any other job that I got, even in the federal government job, you know, where I negotiated. And that one's hard to negotiate because many times they won't. But, you know, it gave me a lot more, I guess, validation or I guess confidence within myself to note that you don't come off as arrogant, but what you do is you do it with a sense of confidence and you say, you know, I do meet all the requirements there. Is there any way we can go higher? The cool part too is when you are entertaining other offers, it's even better, obviously, because then you have a lot more leg to stand on, if you will, right? So let's just say, you know, you got 3 different offers you're entertaining, right? You have one for that company, let's just say 95,000, but you really want to work at that company because you love that culture and everything else, and it seemed like it'd be an awesome job. All right, but you just got another offer, let's just say for 115,000, okay? And maybe it's shift work. You're like, yeah, more money, but yeah, it's shift work. I really don't want to do that. And then you have another one, you know, that maybe is in between, right, or whatever, a better job or whatever, but you really want the one with 95,000. That's the one you really want. You can then come back to that one and say, you know, I really would love to work for your company. I am entertaining, you know, a couple of other offers that are higher. You know, is there any way that you can match it, right? Because this is the one I really would love to be at, and this is why, right? This is why I feel like I would be the better fit for this, right? And all that, and I really want to stay with something that is long-term career growth and progression kind of thing, whatever you say, whatever, you know, that's authentic, okay? because trust me, we can see through the BS. So, but then you can leverage, right? Especially when you have other offers. So never just, go for one. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Furthermore, also there's a thing called contingent offer letters. Have you guys heard of that? Contingent offer letters?
I
Okay,
have, but to be honest, I forgot what it means.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Okay, so yeah, contingent offer letter. Yeah, so yeah, and that's something that comes out in a lot of like contracting jobs, right? Where it's contingent upon a contract being signed or they being awarded the contract. So Deloitte, GDIT, right? They'll all do that. Okay, everybody will. They'll try to get the resumes and they'll try to get you to bite on it and say, okay, make sure they have personnel ready to fill and staff that contract once that contract's signed. But it's contingent upon that contract being signed and awarded to that company. Okay, so many times a contingent offer letter is just a contingent offer letter. The unfortunate part is that unless the contract is in fact awarded to the company in which you put your resume into, then unfortunately you may not, you don't have a job. So I always say don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's always better to circulate and have multiple job offers in which then you can just look at what's the best one for you, your situation, and your family, right? That's what I always say. So yeah, I mean, if, negotiation can be a little bit hard, but do the research though on what they're paying at those companies. And, again, sometimes it is the budget. Let's just say this one says 125 to 130. It's probably that's the budget they have. That's it. They may not be able to go higher for this specific position. And if you're looking for, let's just say the 150,000, right, then don't bother then, because I mean, why are you going to waste your time then with something that's less? You see what I'm saying? So I like it when they do have the range more and more. They're supposed to be putting the range. They're still not in many instances, but ask them that, and say, what my understanding is this position, if they do ask you for the range, my understanding is this position is this range. Is this in the ballpark in which you are looking at? And they might say no, they might say yes, right? So if it's yes, and you can say, okay, then I know I meet A, B, C, and D, so I feel that could be the upper mid-range at least, right? Don't you agree, right? And just start that conversation that way. Get it to be open-ended. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that you might interview, let's just say you are interviewing for the SOC analyst position, okay? That's the one you really want. But you may not actually have all the knowledge, skills, and abilities yet, or there might be just someone just a better fit for that job. However, there's another position that might be available, right? So you just might not know that yet because maybe they haven't even put that out on the street yet, right? So, so you want to be open, and you also want to say, wherever, I'd be a fit because I just want to be of service to your company, but wherever you feel that I'm a fit, you know what I mean? That's where you say that, okay? Because there's been times too where even on contracts where they said, well, you could fit into 5 different positions. Which one do you want? I always put it back on them. Where do you need me? Because I'll wear whatever hat, really, honestly, that I need to wear to support the client. You know what I mean? Where do you need me? And that's the way you need to be. You may not get in a SOC analyst. You might get in a cybersecurity engineer. That might not be the job you initially wanted, right? But you're in the door. So just take it like that, right? And then you can always maneuver through and gain the knowledge and maybe shadow with that SOC analyst or whatever, right? Till eventually move into that position. So look at it from that perspective. Kind of just be humble. That's what I want to say. All right. So let's go ahead and great questions, you guys, so far. Let's go ahead and open it up for, I think a few of you sent resumes. So let me go ahead and start off with a resume. It's going to open up the first one I see in my feed here.
Where can we send it?
Oh, to my email, anna@chrysalis.ai or something like that. Hold on. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Let me move over this. That's what I saw pop up. So, oh boy, excuse me. All right, so Okay, we have Miss Hales. Awesome. Okay, so, okay. You can actually remove the Norfolk, Virginia one off unless you're actually going for a position within that area. Okay, that's what I would say. But definitely have your name, your email, of course, and your LinkedIn. Awesome. I would remove the hyperlink in this way. I would make sure, because again, whether or not it's PDF'd or what have you, they probably are not going to click on links. And also internally, remember, these links are probably, outside links are probably going to be blocked, right? Kind of stuff. So again, just spell it out, if you will, the entire link, so they can see it's like not a phishing email or phishing, or, you know, not a malicious link or whatever. That's what I would recommend, even though this looks nice, but I would spell it out, if you will, the entire LinkedIn link. Okay, so I would say, okay, good. She's got, okay, so this has got highly detailed information systems technician with more than 10 years of experience with the United States Navy. Okay, this is good, because even though, if you notice, she, let me move this here. This is fine to put it like that too. That's okay to put it like that. But I would say though, because again, you want to put the objective though, what you're going for. Okay, so this is obviously the most current position she had, but I would say objective, you know, seeking, you know, whether it be a SOC analyst position or whatever, you know, with whomever, whether it be MITRE or Department of the Navy or whatever, I'm just saying, right, whatever it is. I would drop this down, is because that would be a position that you had, right? But I would say, in summary of qualifications, you have a highly detailed information system technician with more than 10 years of experience. Yeah, and of course, security, yep, security clearance, perfect. Active. Okay, so that's fine to put that here. But you can just put summary of qualifications. So you can put objective, colon, seeking a whatever position you're going for, right? Okay, with whatever company you're going for. Okay, boom, leave it in whatever location it is. Okay, I would then change this to say summary of qualifications. I would take off the information system technician. I would say summary of qualifications, and I'd say, I'd actually start off with this: 10 years of computer networks defense duties for multiple military installations, demonstrator. Yeah, I would just put this in your summary of qualifications, and I'd also put then highly detailed information systems technician. Yeah, that's what I would do. So you see where it says objective there, or excuse me, summary of qualifications, right? Solid professional, you could say, just like here, you just say summary of qualifications, but put an objective above that, what job you're going for. Okay. This is a nice resume though. It's very well put together. Now, notice how though she starts out with professional experience. See, and this is what I'm saying, is you have 30 to 60 seconds to shine. Okay. So 30 to 60 seconds to shine. So what you need to do is make sure that after this, right, that, you know, you put your education certifications, because we want to see also that you've got the certifications for that specific job and the education experience. So make sure you put that, then should be the next thing. Okay. And then you can go into professional experience. Okay. Is how you could do that. It's a very nice resume. Yeah. Move the education up. Let's move the education up. Put it here. Again, put objective, what job you're seeking. Summary of qualifications should be this, should be all of this, should be under summary of qualifications. Next block should be education, okay, and certifications, okay, and then your professional experience or work history, however you want to frame that. But this is a nice resume though, very nice. It's just this is too far down though, because like I said, 30, 60 seconds, and many times we don't even have that long, right, before we have to move on. So put what you can that checks the box at that very top of the resume, okay? The work history is really kind of for that, for the hiring manager, right? So once your resume is in the door and that whoever's checking the block, make sure, yep, number of years of experience, you know, has all the certifications, education, all that kind of stuff, whatever, you know, this is the job she's going for, check, 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 right? Okay, now we're gonna put it in the yes file, right? Get over to the hiring manager or whatever. Now the hiring manager is then going to dissect the professional experience. Okay, they're the ones that are going to do that. Okay, is that cool? I hope that helps. So use this format, folks. Use this format, okay? Now, she doesn't need to put security labs and projects in there because she's got a bona fide background in IT, information security, et cetera. So she doesn't need to fill that. She doesn't need to put that filler in there. So she can legit go from, she's got bona fide IT and information security experience. So she can just, all she needs to do though is, again, put the objective, what position she's going for. And of course, that top part, just change it to summary of qualifications. She doesn't have to put the cybersecurity labs and projects. Those are for those of you that don't have any experience and you're trying to leverage your academic experience, right? But then she's going to have education certifications, right? And then she's going to put, then she's going to go into her work history, right? I would though recommend putting professional organizations at the bottom, okay, if you can fit it in there. But I mean, this is great. And even with the 2-page, it looks very well done. Like you can tell, it's got IT, cyber all over it. Okay, network and computer administrator, communication security, cyber defense incident. I mean, this is cyber all over. So you're good. You've got bona fide experience. You're definitely not entry level as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, this is not an entry level at all. This one can get into senior stuff. So I'll definitely help you in that regard. And you've got an active TS too. That's going to help out a lot. So we just need to formulate it. We just need to change it a little bit. But other than that, I think it's good. I think it's a rock solid resume. This one's good, actually. That's my opinion, anyways. Any questions on that?
How is she struggling to find a job in cybersecurity?
I know, because you're bona fide, man. You got experience, Miss Hales. You got experience. So I mean, so we got to talk, you and I, because you're not entry level by any means. You and I definitely got to talk one-on-one, and then I'll help float this resume because, yeah, you got some serious skills in the bank. I'm just saying, we just have to, I think, formulate it a little bit better. That's all. So I hope that helps. But let's you and I talk one-on-one and get you in the right. You are not entry level, so don't you dare be putting in for entry level. Okay, we're going to talk about that. You and I.
Can
okay?
I ask a question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So me personally, I'm a student. I'm a computer science student with no experience, really. So I want to see like an example of what I could really leverage in my resume. I come from a healthcare background, pretty much, and I do want to know what I can do to make my resume more attractive to employers. I'm a junior computer science student. I've worked on like software engineering.
Okay, who is this Miss Hales? Miss.
No, my name is Ogechi.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So, well, I need to see your resume though. So I need to show. So this, I'm going to go one by one. So this is Miss Hales, and as far as I'm concerned, Miss Hales has bona fide background in IT and cyber, and we just need to change it up a little bit. She's good. This one's good. So if you want to send me your resume right quick,
Yes.
we can double check. So because, hold on. For those of you that don't have experience, okay, Ms. Hales is an outlier because she has bona fide experience. And we're going to leverage that. But for those of you that don't, okay, you're going to use the sample resume that is in the handout section as part of the GoToWebinar right now. So you can actually pull this down, and you're literally going to take, like I said, objective, whatever position you're going for, whatever you're applying for at that time. Okay, you can literally copy and paste the summary of qualifications. But you're going to do a cumulative, solid professional with cumulative, however many years of total work experience in whatever capacity you worked at. Okay, and then the rest of it you can copy and paste. You can literally copy and paste, just translate whatever labs you did in class. Okay, I took some of this stuff when we did it. Flatiron School, a combination of cybersecurity professional certificate program, that kind of stuff. So take what you kind of did, you know, I mean, make it realistic what you guys actually did. These are some examples of that, okay? Because that matters. That's the hands-on stuff, right? Education, certifications, right? So you need to put whatever it is that you have, whether it's degree, professional certification, you know, whatever certifications you're going for, etc. Right? These are the minimum I do recommend. The only one that's an outlier here is the CEH. That's why I said in parentheses for pen testers, because you're not going for penetration tester, you don't need a CEH. But these are the basic ones I do recommend you get to even stand out on any resume. Okay, even if you're studying for, make sure there's an anticipated, you know, date, you know, and that needs to be, of course, when you're on the proctored exam list, because a lot of these require you to be on a proctored exam list. These are proctored, okay? So, and then of course you can take and put core competence. This resume here are for the people that are complete entry level, like 0 years of IT, cybersecurity knowledge. So this one, so for the person that just spoke, this is an example of, you can literally copy and paste this, just use it to your, you know, use it to your liking, right? Professional associations, core competencies, work history. This is the bona fide job description for the internship program you're in right now, right? This is an example of, you know, if you're a full-time student, you know, in whatever capacity you're at, this is pretty much it in a nutshell, honestly, right? You know, we've got, you know, I put examples here of different types of jobs that people generally have or whatever that I always get questions from. So like, you know, if you're a barista, it matters. Like, just don't put gaps on your resume, right? So that's what I'm saying, is try to tie it into whatever you did, IT related, customer service related, whatever, leadership related. I mean, whatever it is. You know, if you are a mother and you had a child, you don't put stay-at-home mom, okay? Because whatever reason that's seen as a negative, and it shouldn't be. Society needs to change that. But again, we can't change society overnight. But what we do is we turn into a positive because we say sabbatical. You can have a religious sabbatical. You can have a parent sabbatical. There's a variety of things. Just put sabbatical, and however long that was, okay? And you put chose to stay at home to take care of a child, okay? You know, as a new mom or parent to save on childcare costs, whatever the case might be, okay? You just make sure that's on your resume, okay? Or if you took time for health reasons, that happens too, trust me. You know, just don't have, notice how I don't have any blanks. I speak to, this isn't my resume, this is a fictitious one, okay, that I just made up. But notice how there's no blanks here, okay, none. So I don't have like January to November, and then I do a January to, no, I put legit what I did, or not what I did, but you know what I mean. An example, January to December, January, December, January, December, January, December, etc. Right? January, February. Then I pick it back up here, March to February, right? March to present. Okay. So that's exactly, like I said, this is somebody that has zero knowledge in IT and cybersecurity. Okay. In addition to that, okay, you want to put professional references on the resume. Okay. Not references available upon request, but you want to put them here. Okay. On your resume at the very bottom. Okay, this is for all of you that are entry level, have zero IT cyber knowledge, and have mostly done academics. Okay, and you just take this and do what you need to your liking, right? So, and this will help fill that up to be able to highlight the cyber and IT component and make it transform from a non-IT cyber to now you see a lot of cyber stuff in there. Okay, and again, you might have 7 years of total work history. Okay, maybe you've been in college for 3 years. So you say cumulative, you know, 7 + 3, 10 years of experience, right? But you're going to put, you know, cumulative experience in customer service, financial service, and IT. And I'm not even putting cyber in here yet, right? The cyber is going to come from your academic stuff. So just be honest, right, with what you've got. Okay, you're not repping you've got cyber, you've got repping that you've got academic stuff here. This is for the folks that have been in school, right? Here, on this one, and you can even look at like my resume, right here, which is an older version, but, and this is, no, it's not a federal resume. This one actually in here is actually a commercial resume. But anyways, you can kind of look at mine too to get an example, right? Oops, went too big there, sorry. Okay, so I put, because this was for an overseas one, we call it a CV everywhere else in the States as resume. But it's for all the audit stuff, because this was geared for an audit, right? And of course, the education, certifications and licenses, security clearance. This is an old one, but notice how there's summary of qualifications, right? That's the top. Before you even get into work history, right? Work history comes later, right? So relevant work experience, et cetera, right? So my point to that is, folks, is that, again, that's also a version of a senior resume, okay? But again, it's targeted for audit stuff because I was targeting the audit stuff. So you're going to have different resumes that are going to be targeted. In this case, though, you're trying to get your foot in the door to whatever. I say always put an objective because, again, the objective is the top really is to kind of get your resume in the right pile. Because as we pull it down from, let's just say, LinkedIn or wherever, we want to make sure that it stays in the right pile of resumes, right? There's going to be tons of positions, typically speaking, in a company, right? Whether it be IT specialist, I don't know, IT security analyst, information security engineer, right? There's going to be several of them. If you just put cybersecurity analyst, and there's maybe 8 different positions under cybersecurity, okay, well, help us help you, because if you make it difficult for us, we're just going to put it in the no pile, right? So tell us what you're even looking for, what position, so in case it does get lost in the shuffle, right? We know exactly what pile it should be in, so you get to the right hiring manager, right? At whatever company, okay? And if there's multiple locations, because some of them will say multiple locations, be specific on the location that you're also going for, okay? And then you want to start with summary of qualifications. That's cumulative years of experience, okay? All right, and then your cybersecurity labs and projects. Again, this is for Miss Hales wouldn't need to put this because she's got bona fide experience. This is just to add a filler, if you will, of additional projects you will have done, right? In academics or in internships or whatever, right? And then you do it, education certifications. So you follow this example, right? For those of you that are brand new, that are entry level. Okay, and then I kind of tell you how to get away with, again, if you were a stay-at-home mom or whatever, how to get around that. You had to turn it into a positive, because you got to speak for it. You can't leave it blank. Like you wouldn't be able to say, if you were to see Justin on a resume from anyone, January 2015 to December 2015, and then it goes then to 2017. Okay, that's odd. Then what do they do with those last 2 years, right? So if you're just honest with it, okay, you were a stay-at-home mom, cool, but don't put stay-at-home mom. Just put sabbatical. That's how you do it. And you put what you did. Okay, is that clear for everyone?
Hey,
Yes.
I don't see the handout section. Are we missing something? It's in this webinar, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the handout section, the attachments. There's LinkedIn about section, sample commercial resume, and then sample cybersec cover letter.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. So I was actually going to ask something as well.
Okay, go ahead.
I keep hearing that resume has to be 1 page. Is that necessary, or it can be 2 pages?
No, in fact, as I was mentioning earlier, right? A 1-page resume, if you were to see, think about it from an employer's perspective. If you were only see a 1-page resume, what would that look like to you?
Not a lot.
Exactly, not a lot, right? It makes it look like entry level. So, everybody wants to preach the 1 to 2 page resume. No, not with IT and cyber. It's impossible. Okay, it's just impossible, because 1 to 2 pages, you're going to look like you're absolutely entry level anyways. So this one already, and this is for somebody, let's just say that just started in the work history. This is just an example. Okay, just started working in 2015, and I just put a couple of sentences, if you will. Let's just say from 2015. So that's not very much experience, right? So if you can imagine, for those of you that might have started working, let's just say 2008 or whatever, I mean, I'm just saying, right? So, only tie into the relevant things that actually tie into the job, the cybersecurity job, right? Nobody needs to know that, let's just say if you're a rancher, okay, great, you're a rancher. But what did you do on the ranch that actually kind of translates, right, kind of thing. And nobody needs to hear a book about the ranch, right, or your life history. Nobody's looking at that, right? It's what ties in though. What do you think that from a rancher, for instance, would tie into, okay, you know, being a cyber, right? I'm just saying, you know, I mean, those types of things, you know, so you talk, then you have to talk to the soft skills, right? It's like, you know, managing a ranch is like managing a business, right? And communicating risk and managing, you know, high stress job kind of stuff. Well, I mean, whatever. But you see what I'm getting at? So again, you know, you don't need to keep it a 1 to 2 pager. Okay. I would say, and this, again, you can take this legitimately, copy and paste the majority of this and just tie this into your own thing. Okay. You know, and again, this is for those of you that don't have any experience whatsoever really in cyber and IT. So, and this takes, if you notice, I took from several of the examples of different things that would tie in, right? Managing tight deadlines, you know, customer service, all that kind of stuff. You know, point of sale
And
system.
what if you don't have certificates, any certificates like me, no experience, no certifications?
Yeah, so you say, it's a great question. So what you say is, right, currently studying for, like test anticipated, right? So that's what you put.
But what if I'm
Yeah.
not
Come on,
scheduled?
well, you need to get yourself on the list, right? Get yourself on that list. You know, get to call, and you can always back out, folks. Get yourself on the proctored exam list. Okay, even if it's for fall. That's why I said fall. So, you know, like security plus a few months out, right? So it's like we're in April. So, you know, that's plenty of time, right? So get yourself on the fall 2023, you know, proctored exam list. You can always back out, okay? But what that does is it holds you accountable also. And it also shows the employer that not only is it on the list, because everybody is going to say studying for, but really, right? How many people really are studying for it? They're going to get to it eventually. I mean, come on, you know? So it's showing that you're at least on the proctored exam list shows that you're actually taking it seriously, right? And it also holds yourself accountable, because if you say, yeah, I'm going to, you know, just say you're prepping for, I don't know, a wedding or something, go into a wedding or something, right? And say, okay, I have a year to lose this many pounds, right? Some of us are going to procrastinate anyways, but other people are going to be, okay, at least it gives us a goal. You see what I'm saying? So this helps both you and the employer to see that you're actually taking this seriously, right?
Yeah.
So
What
you know, that's what you want to do. Go ahead.
What about I know Security Plus is like and CEH are like really good certifications, but what about you know, smaller little certs that you get off cost Coursera or LinkedIn? Do we add those, or are those
No,
just
nobody cares. Nobody cares about those, and here's why. I mean, they're nice to have, but in my opinion, okay, they're great. They're great to like just kind of, you know, kind of show off a little bit, but just look at the job requirements, right? So let me just look at the job. You have to meet the job requirements. All those little ones don't meet any of the job requirements. Okay, so let's just go there for a minute. Jobs, right? So junior SOC analyst.
And regarding that, I have a question too. So I have some experience, and also I don't know why my resume is not making good expression on a recruiter and hiring manager. And that gap, I had a gap in my resume for 2 years. So this is the big excuse there when I'm going to when they are calling and they're asking, I'm telling them the reason, and they are saying like it's not countable on your experience. So now you have like 2 years experience, not 5+ years experience.
No, but that's correct. Yeah, absolutely. You can't count 2 years of, no, they're absolutely correct. So, and again, but also if you put a gap, and again, it's not going to be a gap if you put what was the gap for, right? So again, first of all, you need to just be honest with what the gap was. And I actually wrote this for you because I remember when you asked this a couple weeks ago, I actually wrote this for you as an example. So whatever it was, right? And I know you said you were a new mom, right? So,
right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to take this and say, you know, I mean, this year or 2 years that you were a mom, you can't say that's IT and cyber experience naturally. So yeah, that would have to come off, that would have to fall off, you know, as that experience. Absolutely. You know,
So
absolutely. I agree with them 100%.
Right. And so in this case, I will be not putting 5+ years experience. I will be putting 3+ years experience, right?
That's correct, yes, but on your resume, you still want to make sure that it's a timeline, right? It's a cumulative timeline, and you show what you did. You don't want to leave it off. You don't want to jump, let's just say from January 20, you know, I'm just saying as an example, you know, you worked and then you didn't work for 2 years, and you did, but you jumped from January 2015, you know, December 2015 basically to 2017, let's just say, and left this off your resume. No, you're honest with it. You say sabbatical. You don't say stay-at-home mom, though. You say sabbatical. Now, what you say here, though, is you say chose to stay home. Okay, chose to stay home to take care of, you know, a new child as a new mom to save childcare costs or whatever. That's what you say. Okay.
Okay.
As long as it's counted on your resume, as long as you put it on your resume. Does it count as the cumulative skills for IT and cyber? No, it doesn't. We all know that. Okay.
Right.
But at least you're honest on your resume. You know, look, things happen and there's not a problem. You shouldn't apologize for being a mom either. Okay. You shouldn't apologize. Yes, I was a mom. I chose to stay at home to take care of my child to save on childcare costs. What's wrong with that? Nothing. But I do have 3+ experiences in this, and I also am in an internship program. I have current experience. You know, I have current experience in cyber and IT, and this is what I've done. And you're going to take from this example, this resume, you can legitimately copy and paste the great breadth of it. Okay.
Right.
And go and pursue it. Right. So that's it, you know. So
Right.
you're good. Yeah.
And regarding the matching resume with the job description, when I'm matching the resume with the job description, it's gonna be either like very long resume or it's gonna be like, anyway, it's not gonna match like more than 50% with the job description. So do you have any suggestion for me for that?
No, okay. So if you put this, like this is common stuff that they're going to ask in everything, right? GRC, threat intel, log detection, all that kind of stuff. You take this, it's going to pretty much match just about every job description out there. Okay, unless it's differ, like digital forensics stuff. Digital forensics, I didn't lean this for digital forensics. That's different. This is more for incident response, SOC, cloud engineer, SOC analysts. This is basically for everything but digital forensics, honest to God. So you can literally use this because this will translate to basically just about every cybersecurity position out there, to include the certifications. The only one, that's why I put in parentheses, I put, but the CEH is for penetration testers. If you're not going for a penetration tester position, you don't need a CEH, right? And what I mean by crosswalking to it is look at the required elements, right? So when we talk about required, right? You need to make sure you meet the required. If it says you must have a security plus, which most of them are going to say that, you need to have a security plus. You can't have all the other stuff from LinkedIn. I mean, you say, okay, I got a, you know, LinkedIn, you know, whatever learning thing, but it's not what they're asking for. They're asking for, you know, specific stuff, right? So, you know, specific certifications, right, if you will. Some of these don't even have them in here, but this is at least going to be an IAT level 2 certification. Okay, so at least you're going to have in this bucket, right? So when you do public, most of them are going to ask for the certificate. I'm going to tell you. So, and yes, I know it's DoD, but commercial is follow suit 100%. Where's it at? Here it is. Gonna follow this manual here, and there's what we call the IAT level 1, 2, and 3. Here, hold on a second. Okay. Right here. So this in this bucket, okay, I'm just gonna tell you, most jobs are gonna want you to have one or more in here. So I always say the biggest one is security plus. That's just about what on every contract I've ever seen, whether it be direct hire or otherwise, Security Plus. If you can just get a Security Plus right out the gate, you're good to go. Just start with Security Plus. Every single one of you should be going for a Security Plus. Okay?
I heard that makes you
Just being
marketable.
honest. It makes you hugely marketable. Yes, because it's just on every requirement, contract and otherwise. Security Plus is the big one. And what I did was I put on here, okay, the other ones I recommend you getting, because Splunk, at least Splunk Fundamentals, which is free, okay, on the Splunk site, comes with you know, the knowledge. At least you've got some SIM knowledge, and every single one of you should know SIM, should know logging. Okay, you need Security Plus, the very minimum. ITIL foundations, because that's how we speak, that's how we write and speak. The Deloitte's, the KPMG's, the McKinsey's, all that. Get a cloud one, because every single one of you is going to be dealing with cloud, right? Whether or not you are specifically a cloud security engineer or not, every single one of you will deal with cloud. Okay, CAP, that's really now called the CGRC. Okay, so again, CEH is only for penetration testers, right? But so again, if you go for at least the Security Plus, you'll be golden. Okay, at least right now, this should be everyone's. Right now, you should be getting a Security Plus. And the majority of even the cybersecurity professional certificate program, like that I teach at, like various organizations and stuff, the NYU, UCF, all that kind of stuff, the entire 10-month program is surrounded with all the underlying stuff for Security Plus. So all I need to do is just look, you know, study the questions, right? You don't have to purchase the book. Don't. It's a waste of money. Just there's tons of stuff. In fact, if you go to IT exams, it was itexams.com. I actually put it in the this is all in your, I think it's .com. Yeah, this actually has a free hub. So let me log in another machine, another screen real quick. I want you guys to see my details. Here we go. Hold on. List. Okay, here we go. So, okay, I just logged into itexams.com. This is in the Discord channel, by the way. All the stuff's in the Discord channel. So, but if you look at, right, I can look at, all the stuff is in here. So, CompTIA, so let me click on CompTIA, for instance. All free stuff, folks. So I can go to then Cloud Essentials. These are all, you know, Security Plus is in here somewhere. Where is it? You guys see it? Security Plus, Security Practitioner. Here it is. There's mobile app, Security Plus. Anyways, they're in here. My point to this is these are really good study guidance. Am I just not seeing it? EC squared, Security Plus. Okay, this is fine. Let me see. It's voucher only, but let me see. Hold on a second. Let me go to. Okay, what I like about this resource, okay, is it actually you can actually study, but then when you expose the correct answer, it tells you why it is or why isn't it is. You don't have to go through all these extra resources, right? So it's a really good, and there's like in this one alone, there's 1,000 questions, okay? It all aligns with, and it'll tell you, it's all, they update it pursuant to the latest voucher information. It's a free resource, folks. So I'm gonna give you guys, let me just go ahead and back this out. Let me see. And I'll just let me copy and paste it in the.
This is a study guide, is it?
Yeah, it's free study resource. I'm all about free, folks. I'm just saying. So this is a free study resource. It's got not just Security Plus, it's got a lot of them in there. Because if you look at the exam list, there's tons, right? You just go to whoever's sponsoring it, right? For the most part, it's got everyone in here, okay? Whether or not it's a vendor supported one or whatever, like even the Amazon stuff. It's got the stuff at AWS certified advanced networking. I mean, all that kind of stuff, certified Alexa skill builder, all these test questions. It's free. It's a free resource. Okay.
Hey, Anna,
yeah, go ahead.
I hate to interrupt. My experience with itexams.com a couple of years ago was that it does give you so many questions free, but in order to get the entire arsenal, you do have to pay a small fee. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but it was like that a few years ago.
Yep, that's correct. The entire arsenal, but yes, that's the extra. But you can still get a lot, like even Security Plus. Like I go through this all the time when we have like study sessions, even with my students. We'll use this as a huge resource because it's free. And you can still go through 1,000 questions in that entire prep for that exam, even without paying a single dime, right? So, I mean, yeah, if you want all of them, but this still gives you access to just about everything in here. I haven't had to pay yet, to be honest with you. I use this consistently for the students. Go ahead.
Question. What cloud certification would you suggest to take first to add to your certifications to take?
Security Plus. That's why I keep saying Security Plus.
No, cloud. I mean, like
Oh,
AWS.
cloud. Okay, so all right, so for the students that have gone through the 10-month certification program that I teach on the regular at UCF, NYU, NC State, and all those stuff, because they play in the AWS console, the entire cloud class, then I tell them to go for the AWS Cloud Practitioner because that one has security in it. Okay, now, but if you've gone anywhere else, it doesn't matter if you get a Microsoft Azure, it doesn't matter if you go for the Google, right? Because Google has their own. It doesn't. Jump Cloud even has one too. Okay, Jump Cloud actually has a certification thing. All these vendors have one. Cloud Plus is one. CSA, the Cloud Security Alliance. Okay, CCSK, that's what I have. Okay, as long as you have a cloud certification, you're fine. Okay, now you need to look though and do some research because obviously if you're going to want to work for Microsoft, hello, they're more than likely going to want you to be certified in Microsoft Azure, right? So I mean, you kind of have to crosswalk that. If you're going for Cisco stuff, right, then obviously you need to go for your CCNAs and CCIEs and things like that eventually, right? Because they want you to know their stuff. But for the most part, right, you're not just going to play with one cloud knowledge component anyways. Even in government and even in my corporate thing, you know, we have Office 365, that's Microsoft Azure. We have AWS, that's for the metaversity, right? I'm just saying, we even have Google Drive, that's Google Cloud right there. So already, and then Jump Cloud. So even in the internship, folks, there's 4 cloud service providers that you're dealing with even within the internship program. So again, it doesn't matter if you go AWS or Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud or whatever, as long as you have one, okay, you're good to go. But align it with the job that you're going for. Like I said, because if you're working for Microsoft, or if you're working for AWS, okay, they'll take the Microsoft Azure cert, but they're more than likely going to want you to know their stuff, right? I don't know, that's all I'm trying to say. I mean, right? I'm just saying, you know. So, you know, if AWS is where you want to work, well, you kind of might want to get an AWS Cloud Practitioner, right, or something. So, and you don't need multiple, just get one. So get these. I put the basics on here. Splunk Fundamentals, go get that one. Security Plus, ITIL Foundations, one of the clouds, and of course the CAP, you know, which is now the CGRC. Those are the only ones you should be worrying about. Everything else are nice to haves, okay, honestly. You know, digital forensics has their own little bucket of stuff, okay, and certifications they want you to get. Same thing with penetration testing, have their own certifications like CEH or OSCP. But if you can get Security Plus, you're good to go, and the Associate CISP. That's the other one.
Real quick, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. No, you're
So
good.
I was told that Google certifications were pretty essential to the workforce, like the IT security startup ones and such, but I mean, you're saying that's not true. So I'm getting
That's not true
polarizing.
at all. No, and you will get, well, that's the thing, right? Everybody's going to give you polarizing perspectives. Absolutely. Absolutely, right? We all come from different places and things like that. I'm trying to tell you from all the contracts that I've seen, all the jobs that I've seen, all the requirements that I've seen, right? Security Plus has a lot of cloud in it. I'm not gonna lie, it has a lot of cloud in it. So does Network Plus has a lot of cloud in it. So there, anywhere you slice and dice it, you're gonna have a lot of cloud. Okay. Anyways, so if you take the Security Plus, you're a shoo-in for Associate CISP as well. That can mature after 5 years to a CISP. So if you take this one, you can pretty much go for your Associate CISP as well. But this one is been also, yeah, you won't be able to get EMAS or admin rights even without Security Plus at a lot of organizations like DoD, for instance. It doesn't matter if you have a CISP even, they want you to have a Security Plus. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you get the Security Plus, you're pretty much golden everywhere. Go ahead.
So I actually sent over my resume, well, a resume that I've recently updated because my old one looks kind of basic.
Okay,
So
who
if
is
you
this?
This is Liban, team lead for 23.
Okay, hold on. And where did you send it? Where did you send it?
info@chrysalis.ai.
Okay, hold on. Let me see, because we have Christian's, Stephanie's, Corey's. We looked at Miss Hale's, Lance Rosengarten.
Wait, which Christian?
Oh, that's a good question. Christian Medina.
Okay, my bad.
Okay. I don't see yours for some reason. This is what
I just sent it, so like maybe it's taking a bit to load.
Okay, yeah, because this one, I've got Christian, Stephanie's, Corey's, TurboTax deadline is approaching. Miss Hale's, Lance.
I sent mine during the webinar. Stella.
Okay, well, you might, okay, hold on a second, let's see.
Sent mine also. This is Shaquille.
Okay.
I sent mine over to the Anna at Chrysalis. I don't know if it's a separate inbox for you.
Okay, well, that might be it. Okay, I sent it to the info at.
Yeah, I was wondering if that, because I sent mine over there with a question that you can answer when you
There
have
are
a moment.
several, actually, yeah. All right, no worries, no worries. Okay, so again, we'll do, because we're gonna do mock interviews too on
I think
Wednesday.
I sent it to actually, I think the reason why you might not be seeing it is because I sent it to the info@Chrysalis AI one.
Okay, well, I just was in info, but I have Minas.
Oh.
I have Rosine's, Carter's, Justin's. What I'll do is I'll look at these separately too, the ones you guys have. But I recommend though taking them and updating pursuant though to this, to be honest with you. Definitely take an update pursuant to this. Is what I would recommend. So even the ones that you did send, make that update. Let's look at, I don't know, let me see, where's the top one here? Okay. Rosine's.
Yeah, I definitely need to add a cover letter and 2 more pages to my resume to even, because I didn't know this until now, to be honest with you. I thought it was one, like literally, I have a career helper that helped me with like general job things, and he says one page, that's it. But I'm in IT, so.
Right. No, but think about it though. Always put yourself in the employer's shoes. Okay. A 1-page resume, does that look like it's somebody's experience or not?
Not at all.
Not at all. Exactly. So again, a lot of the folks from career services, I'm not going to knock them. Okay. You guys pay for that. It's part of your curriculum. Okay. I'm not going to do that. I think they're an excellent source of help. But you're also going to leverage those of us, like any academics or any of us that have been in the field for any period of time, that actually tell you that, in fact, go to active contracts, active jobs, things like that are in the field, that work in the field, right? And we're going to tell you what people are looking for right now and how to make your resume stand out. Because this one, I think, is even, okay, this has got 2 pages. Okay, so let's see. It's decent though. I like the outline though. But okay, so again, take out the city and state. Don't even put that in there, okay, unless you're going for somewhere local, okay? Okay, this is good, and then I would add the LinkedIn link, because everybody's looking at LinkedIn, okay? Okay, this one at least starts off with educate, but I don't see what job you're going for. So like, right, and I know you're not going for a job right now, but again, when you're going for a job, let's just say we're going for this one. Okay, let's just say it was this one. So I would say objective, seeking cybersecurity engineer position with Leidos in Washington, D.C. That's what I would put as my objectives at the top. Okay, honestly, that's what I would do. Okay, just being honest. All right. Okay, so that would be the objective. And then I go summary of qualifications. Okay, and that's just a summary of everything cumulative, because nobody's going to go dissect this stuff. It's too much. So, all right. So then we have, okay, education, but that should drop down a little bit. Security clearance secret. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you guys just look, this is pretty and all, but take it and legit, all of you, go and put it in this format, the objective, okay? And you can just put XXX for now or whatever, because just be mindful of whatever position you're actually going to go for at whatever, you know, put the summary of qualifications. That's a cumulative experience, right? If you look at mine, for instance, cumulative, you can also just go pull mine too, cumulative experience. But I did that for you guys too. You don't have to even create something. Oh, you're muted? Okay, hold on. I didn't realize that. So sorry. Okay, hold on a second. Audience. Hold on a second. Audience. Attendees.
You have to click the green microphone or the red one. I had to do.
Okay, are you good now? Is everyone good?
When you join through mobile, it doesn't give you the option sometimes to make comments or like to speak to the group.
Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so I just did it like an unmute all. Oh man. Okay.
You have to click it. You have to automatically disable or enable muting after you muted everyone again, Anna. I can click it and unmute myself, but I'm on a desktop.
Yeah, I can unmute myself as well.
Okay, do you see this where it says unmute all attendees?
From mobile.
So I hit yes. Say again?
Joining from a cell phone, you cannot talk. I mean.
Okay, that's messed up. So hold on.
We can only talk from computers.
Okay. Yeah, because I've unmuted all participants, at least from the desktop component. So, well, that's all right. Okay. All right. I want to tag up with her anyways, because she's the one with the resume, also with the extensive IT experience. So she's a little bit different anyway. So I just definitely want to hit her up one-on-one. So, okay. So, all right. So yeah, so going back to, like I said, resume, right? You want to make sure that, let's see, hold on a second. Right, that you have, you know, CRS is summary of qualifications, or all the stuff's at the top, right? You know, and stuff. Now, this was for going through with KPMG on a contract kind of a deal, but everything is at the top that needs to be said, is my point. So summary of qualifications, you know, they're not going to go into your work history. That's later, okay? It's like, do you meet the requirements for the job? In this case, because I was going for the audit stuff, this was KPMG's thing where they put it at the very, very top, right? So again, it just depends on the targeted resume, your targeted thing that you're going for. But all the education, certifications and licenses, security clearance, years of experience, contact information, all that kind of stuff, right? You know, and then of course, you know, the summary of qualifications, okay? And then of course, the relevant work experiences doesn't start until later, right? So, you get my drift. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is for you guys though, however, is that, okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I definitely don't, I'm gonna send her a thing and then we'll just meet up one-on-one. Okay, awesome. So, but for you guys, right, for many of you that don't have a lot of history, you kind of need to pad it a bit, but with legit stuff. So tell me what you have not done, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you, this is within every cybersecurity curricula that I've taught, okay? Whether it be Flatiron School, whether it be at a university or whatever, okay? And of course, at internship level with me, okay? So again, summary qualifications, solid professional with whatever cumulative experiences that you have and whatever background you have. I don't care if it's mechanic, whatever, okay? And IT, you wanna put and IT. Who doesn't have experience with IT? You set up your Xboxes and stuff like that, still, you set up your stuff at home, that's still IT, right? I'm just saying, set up your kids' stuff, that's still IT. So put and IT, you're not putting cyber in here yet, right? So you're being honest. And then you can say, and ambitious and results-driven professional with however many months of classroom and lab experience, or years, could be 3 years, 4 years, and hunt analyses, network security, system security, governance, risk and compliance, strategy and analyses. I mean, this basically covers the gamut. Okay, log detection, motivated information security analyst, skilled in or familiar with monitoring and securing systems and data. seeking to strengthen security for organizations by driving risk reduction, decreasing damage to loss of data or intellectual property, and avoiding fines through deception, security, data privacy, risk, and compliance. Strong ability to use data-driven analytic tools, right, to gain leadership buy-in. Possesses strong interpersonal skills, works well with cross-functional teams, and has great customer relations and presence, because that's what we're all looking for right here. Boom, bottom line up front. Okay, everything else is just great. You know, those of you that are familiarity with, right, talk what you did. Like here I have presented on CIS controls, cybersecurity current events, and Kyrgyzstan capability maturity model, for instance, Splunk fundamental certification, viewed and interpreted error logs from host operating system, installed Windows servers, Linux servers on virtual machines running Kali Linux and Ubuntu. What we did in class, right, is my point. Then education certifications, right, because this shows the hands-on familiarity of knowledge, different project you've done. Hey, and if you have a GitHub account too, that's awesome too, because you can clone some of the stuff you've done and use it as like a portfolio, but during the interview, right? Education, certification, so these must be here, okay? And they can't just be all the other stuff on LinkedIn Learning or whatever, okay? They need to be legit stuff that I know ties into the job, okay? Absolutely ties into the job, okay? Core competencies, professional associations that have to tie into, you know, they don't care if you're part of the, I don't know, equestrian thing. Okay, fine. But that has nothing to do with cybersecurity. Even hobbies. If you're asked about a hobby, okay, you can't say hobby is football or whatever, watching football on Sundays. Okay, you can't say that. It has to tie in, no joke. It works every single time. You know, it has to tie into cyber, right? So if I were to ask you guys, what's your hobbies, right? As part when I'm doing the interview, what would you say? What could you say?
Try hack me.
Monitoring.
Try hack me, all that kind of stuff. Yes, it matters. I'm just going to say, because they want to see that what you're doing on and off time, it kind of relates. It's kind of a strange thing, but that's the human thing when it comes to this stuff, no joke. So, and again, you can take literally copy and paste this. Here's your job description right here for the cybersecurity internship program. So you can put that in your resume. That's a current job you have right now, current on the job experience you're gaining right now, okay? And even if you were full-time, then I put this as an example too. If you were a full-time student, right? And say you were a full-time, but you had a part-time job, okay? Full-time student, you know, part-time, whatever, and with the same time period or whatever. It's cool, right? But it covers everything, you know? Knowledge of penetration testing and risk analysis of services, sites, and infrastructure. Can assist with development, periodic review, compliance, all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, well, all this stuff is all part of all your stuff. It should be anyways, right? So, you copy and paste a lot of this stuff on the front end of your resume. Okay, that's what I would recommend for all of you, okay? I'm gonna look at another one, so let's go ahead and pull up another resume. Hold on a second. Pull up another one, let's see. Sorry about these two guys, no particular rhyme or reason to this at all. Let's see. Okay, so this is Carter's, okay. Objective, okay, he's got an objective, but the objective needs to be what job you're seeking, okay? It says, okay, individual seeking a remote or hybrid position that will provide paid training or paid internship. Okay, that's fine. But in this case though, you're gonna take this and whenever you identify a job that you're actually submitting for. Now this is perfect if you're submitting for internships or apprenticeships. Perfect for that, but you want to be specific. Like, let's just say you're submitting for the IBM internship program. You'd say, you know, seeking, you know, just, you know, seeking a position, you know, with an IBM internship program or whatever that starts on such and such or whatever, right? That kind of stuff. You know, so, and then of course you want summary of experience, okay? You want summary of experience, summary of qualifications as well, because that's just bulleted high level, kind of an executive summary of all your cumulative experience and how it ties into cyber, right? And of course your education and certifications, all that has to be at the very top, okay? And then you can get into the experience. Okay, so here it has Costco. Selected by managers to tackle special projects, expediting. Okay. Special projects has a very bad thing in government. When you hear, okay, this is just a culture thing, I think, with business culture. But when somebody in government, I have to laugh because, so I'm gonna tell you, because this could definitely be perceived as a negative depending upon where the person had a job in the business culture. when people are given a special project title or doing special projects, okay, it means that they have kind of been shelved, like closeted, because they're not like a good, they're not good at whatever else, and so they they're maintain employment, but they're just gonna given kind of, I don't know, kind of shelved or put in the basement or whatever. I'm just saying, right? So when you hear somebody on special projects, that's what that means in government. It's not a good thing, actually. It's never a good thing. Okay, they get to keep the rank and title, but they're found inept in their current position, and they can't be really trusted with major stuff, high visibility projects, and so they're put on special projects. Okay, so you definitely want to remove that from your resume. Okay, absolutely. Okay, because that can be seen as a negative. All right, by in other business cultures. So night produce stalker. So evaluate supplies and product inventory to check for. Okay, but what inventory? Okay. So look at this from an employer's perspective, right? So now you're going for IT and cyber. Okay, so what specific inventory IT solution did you use while you were doing the stocking, right? What is that called that you used? Do you know? When you do like the scanning and you're putting in the stocks, the shelves and stuff? Because that's what you want to do.
We didn't use that in that store, but Lowe's we used Zebra handhelds.
Then put that in there. Yeah, so then put that, at familiarity with blah 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 blah, whatever, whatever those systems are. So now you want to be talking IT, you want to translate whatever IT, customer service, or good organization skills, all that kind of stuff, right? So you want to start thinking, okay, what skills did I have at that job that translate into cyber? Okay, so but being honest, right? Okay, and then we have fulfillment specialist, Lowe's and home improvement. Okay, so innovative visuals. Okay, customer interest, promotion aisles. Okay, so train team members and successful strategies to meet operational sales target. That's good. Actually, this is good stuff. Strengthen merchandising and promotional strategies, drive customer engagement. Okay, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. This one I would just put in a lot of the IT stuff and whatever IT stuff they used here too as well. Okay, awesome. Review blueprints, blueprints and schematics. I mean, all kinds of stuff, right? So that's, this is fixing stuff. This is perfect for IT. So start thinking about troubleshooting diagnostics, right? All that kind of stuff. Prioritizing risk. I mean, you do all that stuff even with plumbing, right? That kind of stuff too. So, this is good though. This is excellent. IT support, National Telecom Group Incorporated. Go ahead.
The IT support one I also did was a network technician. I wore multiple hats, including being a dispatcher. So there's a lot more I can build in that.
Okay. Yeah, then put that in there then. Put the network stuff, put whatever, yeah, put that in there. Yeah, beef that up a bit.
It was telco.
Okay, beef that up.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, beef that. Put the education at the top. That education and your certifications that go on the top. So remember, objective is, of course, what job you're seeking. Just seeking a position with okay? And then you have summary of qualifications, which is just a high-level bulleted. Use my resume as an example because it's just a high-level bulleted items, right? And you can put even on there, you can actually put as one of the top ones, you can actually put in that bulleted item summary of qualifications, worked as team lead, manage a team of 3, or worked as a technician, right? Supporting whatever, network backbone, telecom, whatever, et cetera, right? That could be one of your top in here. Because again, they're not going to scroll down to the work history and that's a little bit buried, right? Don't you agree down here? Even though it has to be due to the time, right? But again, if you can kind of highlight that in your summary of qualifications, right? Where they see that you've got the network experience, right? And of course, make sure, so objective, what job you're going for, summary of qualifications, cumulative work experience, right? And then of course, bulleted items that reflect, of course, the network, telecom, backbone stuff, etc. The problem solving skills, being in plumbing, all that kind of stuff. Make sure education should be next, okay? And of course, any certifications that you have as well. So introduction to cyber, digital boot camp, okay, certificate. What certificate though? Is that meaning a certificate for this? Yeah, it's probably a certificate, right? Certificates, just put comma certificate or whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, for that, it wasn't a full course though.
Okay, that's okay. It's all right. All right, introduction to cybersecurity, introduction. Yeah, so make sure you put that on there and then should put education and certifications, and then of course you want to list, Cybersecurity Plus, you know, ITIL, whatever you're doing, right? Make sure you list those there. Love the volunteer work. That's awesome too. So that's awesome as well. And tie that in. Huh?
I had a bud who's the Val guy that I mentioned before. He helped me put part of this together. So
Okay, no problem. Just reformat it like the commercial resume. Okay, all of you guys do that. Reformat it to here. Okay, use mine as an example. Okay, also, if you go to my thing, it's just right up under here. You go into experience. I have a demo video here, and then I have my resume right there. So everybody's like, where is it? So people don't realize you can upload files. Okay, so that's what I do. So just make it easier for myself. Just upload a file. I've got to update this thing anyways. It's old, but anyways, you see how it's got summary qualifications, got bulleted different things, right? You know, so that's pretty much what you do. Okay, you make sure all this stuff is at the top, kind of thing. But again, you definitely don't want a one pager. Okay, a two pager is even, you know, pushing it. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I want a two page. No, you don't. One pager, honestly, again, always put yourself in the employer's shoes, even when you're looking at your own resume. Okay, it's like, would I hire this person? What kind of skills would I want to see for this position if in fact I was hiring that person? And that'll help you better to kind of word your resume better. Also in the response, because naturally, yes, if there is a gap, of course, what was the gap for? And yeah, you do need to remove that from, you know, because I mean, keep it on there. You explain it on the resume because you're being honest and transparent about what you did during that time, right? But, you know, yeah, I mean, if you're a parent or whatever, you do have to take that off the cumulative work experience because unfortunately society doesn't count at home experience. I wish they would because that's a lot, that's hard work, I'm not gonna lie. But they don't count it for, so for right now, we just have to, okay, yep, those 2 years, you just count for it on your resume and for that. I'll look at one more and then I gotta jump off because I gotta teach tonight. Let's see, hold on.
quick question if I may about that.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I worded it in front of you in the email later. But how should I, someone who's on disability and working to come off of it, how should I put that in as a gap? How should I integrate that into my resume?
Okay, excellent question. Okay, so all right, is it workplace disability? Was it from that or?
No.
Okay. All right, you don't have to, okay, you don't have to say in front. First of all, I need to tell you, I'm a disabled vet. You are no obligation to reveal a disability at all to anyone, not even on your resume. So you don't even have to reflect that if you don't want to. It's nobody's business.
Okay. I was just wondering because I didn't know because predating the NTG network technician, there's a gap of not working.
Okay. And so how many years when you're looking at that resume, how many years of a gap between, so where are we at? There was Carter, right? Was it Carter?
Yeah, I mean it's predating the NTG one.
Okay, all right, no, that's fine. But NTG is the last one on the thing, right?
Yeah, that is the last one. I think it was 2018 when I started
okay,
there.
Then you're good then. You don't, what you did was you didn't have a gap. You didn't put another job before that. I didn't see. So don't worry about it. It's nobody's business. Just, yeah, leave NTG and forward. Now, if you are counting a cumulative experience even before that, then you're more than welcome to do that. But if you do put on your resume, then you would have to say, so I would say leave it off for right now. How many years total cumulative work experience do you have?
More than 5 off the top of my head.
Cool. No, that's fine. That's fine. So again, don't worry about it then because the last one I saw in there was the NTG one. So you don't need to, yeah, I would leave the disability off. You don't even need to speak to it because you're not even reflecting that on your resume. The gap is not even seen on the resume. So because you do have,
making sure.
Yeah, you have NTG and going forward. No, you're good. I'm glad you asked, but yeah, and it's nobody's business. So it's nobody's business. So yeah, you don't have to reveal that at all. Great
so
question.
one thing I was going to ask.
Okay.
So I'm also asking about a gap as far as my resume is concerned. It involves back during 2021 at like basically the height of the pandemic. I was unemployed for several months until I got a job around August 2021, and that's been my current job. How would I go about talking about that in the resume?
Excellent question. Yeah, so if it was pandemic, if you're laid off due to the pandemic, then you just put that period of layoff and you say, you know, laid off, you know, during the pandemic, right, or whatever. You
Right.
know, there's a lot of people. There's people that lost their businesses. There's all kinds of stuff. So again, yeah, you can put that on there. But did you do anything? You went to school? Did you, you know, did you volunteer? Did you do anything like that during that time as well? Because you can say laid off, but while laid off, right, due to the pandemic, I also volunteered at such and such, or I pursued a certificate program, or I pursued whatever. So you can also do that as well. But if you didn't, that's okay too. Okay, so I'm not saying that's a negative. I'm just saying a lot of people, a lot of things happened during the pandemic. Nobody's going to judge you for that. Just be honest.
I was, yeah, I mean, I was still like, I mean, I was still doing school, but that was purely online for Mason.
That's
So
fine.
that was
You
bad,
went to school, put that on there. Online and off doesn't matter. In school, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying. So yeah, put that on there. Say, you know, laid off due to the pandemic. However, was actively involved in remote, you know, a school with Mason or whatever. Was it George Mason University?
Yeah, George Mason. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
that's not too far from me actually. So yeah,
You are in
yeah,
my area. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I'm just right around the corner. I mean, well, a little bit further than that, but you know what I mean. So but yeah, definitely put that, because at least you were pursuing knowledge. Okay, that's all I'm trying. That's a good thing. Okay, you took an opportunity. You know, you got hit in the gut, if you will, with the layoff or whatever it is. Things happen, but you were pursuing knowledge. That's perfectly fine. Okay, all of you guys, the pursuit of knowledge is a perfect thing to put. Is a positive thing when you're looking at a gap like that. Or even as a stay-at-home mom, if you were actually also pursuing knowledge, like going to school during that time, right? You know, stay at home, but I was an active student, you know, kind of thing. I mean, all these kinds of things are in your favor, okay? So yeah, no worries. We'll work through those. We're gonna do this again on Wednesday, okay? We'll do this again on Wednesday. I'm also gonna start doing some mock interview stuff. I'll have Hira and some other folks online with us on Wednesday. So she'll help with the and then again, I want to do I think I'm gonna do like a rapid fire. I think take a couple days a week, and just a few just right after another, just do some, concentrate on some one-on-ones you know, during the week, so we can get through and some additional guidance, because I know I wasn't able to get through a lot of the resumes today, and I definitely want to. So that's okay. We'll book some one-on-ones with you, and we'll do it a couple days a week, you know, maybe in afternoons or whatever time is good for you. Those that are, of course, overseas, like in Nigeria and Kenya and others, look, it's okay. I'll do like an ODARC 30. Okay, not a problem. So we'll work through that. I don't want to leave anybody out. But again, part of this internship program, a lot of value that I wanted to provide to you also is to help you guys transform your resumes and take, again, what would be perceived as a negative into a positive. Because just like Mina was saying, yeah, I'm not even getting any feedback, or I'm getting this, but it's negative. Yeah, of course it is. So, but we're going to turn it into a positive. That's the point. So thanks for being vulnerable, everybody, and honest, because the more we know, the more that we can help. Okay, that's all. And we'll transform your stuff to now it stands out, and we're going to highlight the very best of you, because you guys all come from, every single person comes from different backgrounds, which is awesome, right? And we can translate that. It just needs to be worded well. It's the messaging, right? Just like look at it like a marketing ad campaign for yourself, right? It's all the messaging, okay? And then of course your target market, right? The target audience kind of thing, right? So if you can kind of look at it from that perspective, and of course, you know, make sure that you're always putting yourself, yourself in the employer's shoes when you're looking at the cover letter, when you're looking at your own resume. Would you hire yourself, really? And then, of course, you know, as you're doing I also want you guys to practice your 60-second elevator pitch. Okay, tell me a little bit about yourself, but I don't want to hear your work, your history, like your life history, albeit I'm sure awesome. But employers aren't looking at that. They just want to, okay, your history as it pertains to the fit for the job, okay, kind of thing. So if you guys can start kind of putting that together, and then what we'll do is we'll play with that on Wednesday for those of you that are here on Wednesday. And again, I'm going to open up a lot more slots, okay, and I'm going to put in the announcement section a fresh link with updated slots, because I want to be able to accommodate you guys. And you'll have Hira too, you'll have Costin or whatever. So we'll just tag team on that so that you guys get guidance, okay, on your resume stuff. But anyways, I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to everyone today. That's okay. We'll have multiple sessions and then several one-on-ones, and we'll get you where you need to be. Okay, we'll get, and then when you start submitting then for your resume, then you'll start getting on it. You know, you start getting better responses, right? You start getting jobs, start getting in for the interview. But then we're going to practice, of course, the interview also skills as well. So that's going to come too. So we'll start that on Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right. Anyways, yeah, no worries at all. That's what I'm here for, you guys. And sorry I couldn't get to everyone, but trust me, we will over a period of time. Yeah, you guys have been great, and I'll be looking at those resumes that you guys sent as well. But I do recommend, though, look, before I do that, though, please, can you put that in this format, though? I mean, a lot of yours is really beautiful format. You need the beautiful format, but keep it in mind, objectives, summary qualifications, that kind of stuff, right? That's all I ask. Other than that, though, I think you guys are going to do well. All right. So with that said, we're going to cut it, at least for
Quick
now.
question
Go ahead.
about the format. So does having like a background or colons on the side affect it or anything, or no?
What do you mean the background or colons? What do you mean by that?
So like a sidebar on the resume, for example, where you have skills or contact information.
Yeah, I would say get rid of that. Here's the deal. So here's the last thing I'm going to say. That's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. So, all right. A lot of these resumes are going through OCR machines. A lot of these resumes, okay, so they're not even wanting PDFs anymore. They're wanting like Word documents or whatever. And the reason why I say this, because they're going to look for, you know, the phraseology, right? The words, how many times the word shows up, right? Or whatever. You know, all these things. So they're being run through OCR machines, okay, for the most part. So, you know, again, if you do have the extra stuff, the lines, even mine would be spit out. It wouldn't like it. Just saying, you know, because of the format. Okay, so keep it clean. Okay, you can have a line or whatever. Like Miss Hales, you know, had a line. That was fine. It was clean. A line is fine. Okay, like she had. It was perfectly fine. Okay. But yeah, but keep it clean. Don't do the extra. Don't do like mine either. Okay, mine needs to be cleaned up too, by the way. So that wouldn't cut it either. If it was going to be run through an OCR machine, it would be spit out. Okay. So yeah, keep it clean. Don't have the side extra stuff on there. Okay. Keep it objective. What job are you going for? And right now, you can just make it up because you know you haven't put in anything yet. Summary quality, you can literally copy and paste this, modify it to your liking with your cumulative years of experience and of course your background and whatever it is. Okay. Again, make this, you know, tailor it. This just gives you an example of what to use. Okay, but all of this needs to be ahead of, you know, the work history. Okay, and then again, here's my legit, okay, professional reference. You can start using this now. Okay, but again, I want your resumes to be polished before we start submitting them, because we're going to have sessions here very soon where we're legit live going to be submitting resumes live, okay, to various areas. Okay, you're going to have jobs that you think you're qualified for. We'll kind of look at it. We'll say, okay, whether or not you're a fit for it or not. Then we're going to start submitting your resumes live, but I want to make sure they're all polished. So before we do that, they're going to be polished. Okay, and then you can start using, of course, myself and anyone else as part of this program, as references. Okay, so and make sure you're getting other references. Okay, get letters of recommendation also from other, whether it be academic professors or even not your non-IT professional experience. Because, right, if there's two people equally matched, that's why I say to everyone, if there's two people equally matched, both entry-level folks, and both of you are like amazing, okay, and I have to make a decision, okay? If one person comes with letters of recommendation in addition to the resume, the other person does not, who do you think I'm going to choose?
How do you add the letter of recommendation as a reference as well, or its own separate bullet point?
Yeah, so I would just add, let's just say professional references. I would list the name the title, of course, email, of course, a number, of course, I listed on your resume. So normally, you know how you'd say references available upon request? Don't do that, right? Go ahead and just list them at the bottom of your resume, okay? The last page, bottom of your resume, okay? Just list them. But the letters of recommendation, what you can do is, you know, at that point you can PDF the whole thing, you know, and stuff like that. But or send them as extra attachments, which is fine. You can send like the Word document would be the resume, and you could PDF the letters of recommendation in one attachment, so they're only getting 2 attachments or whatever. Or if they're only accept PDF, right, you can just PDF the whole entire thing. So just follow the instructions, right, that they have in the as far as their resume, because sometimes they only do accept PDF, and that's okay. Where they don't though, and they're using an OCR machine, then you want to include your resume as a Word doc or whatever that can actually go through the OCR machine. That's the only unfortunate thing. But do some research, ask, right? But great question. List the references at the bottom of your resume, and of course provide the letters of recommendation as a separate combined attachment. That's what I would recommend. And then also come with printouts, because you know, let's just say it's an in-person, always bring in like 5 or 6 extra copies of your resume, because I've been tested many times too. It's like, okay, oh, I don't have a copy of my resume with me, right? Whatever. So okay, no problem. I have an extra copy right here. They're trying to see how prepared you are, right? You can always, of course, make sure you bring your letters of recommendation also with you during the interview, because just in case it got lost in the sauce and the mix, right? You can also, you know, hand over the letters of recommendation, and they can see that. Because again, it's all about taking a risk, especially with entry-level folks, right? It's like, okay, so one person didn't bring a letters of recommendation, the other person did. First of all, that's less work than my team has to do, because then I don't have to sit there and call everybody, right? I can just, the letters of recommendation are right there. So, I mean, I'm gonna accept the person that came prepared and with the letters of recommendation, right? Vice the other one that didn't, okay? So again, that just made my mind up for me, if you will. So again, look at it from the employer's perspective always, you know, when you're doing this stuff, and that'll help you just. And then always too, after you're done with the interview, right, I always say you're going to come back, you're going to wait about 45 minutes or so. Once you're down from that high, that adrenaline rush, right, the nerves and stuff like that, you can come back and you're going to send a nice thank you email, okay? And also include anything you may have promised during that session. You know, I'd like to thank you for your time today. I look forward to being part of your team, right? In addition, you know, or as promised, you know, here's the other document that I had, you know, that I wanted to provide or whatever, as part of the submission package or per your request, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? You know, I look forward to working with you and your team or whatever kind of thing, whatever you're going to say, right? But again, that also is because not very many people are doing thank you emails. And that's another thing too, because even if you don't get the job at that moment, because maybe somebody else was just a better fit, right? There's hundreds going for the same position. So, but that's okay, because maybe 6 months later, I'm gonna remember, okay, oh yeah, who was that did the thank you emails? That was from that interview like 6 months ago for the cybersecurity engineer position. Oh yeah, that was whatever, Abdul or whatever. Okay, cool. So can we call him, right? Because he seemed like he'd be a fit now for this position, you know. And I was really impressed with his follow up and things like that. And the interview, he interviewed really well. Let's see if he's still available for this position. Happens all the time. People get called back all the time. So again, that follow up too, and how you act even afterwards, is also equally as important, because it is the little things that matter, right? So you never know, okay? Anyways, all right, so I do have to cut off, you guys, because I do have to teach tonight. However, I look forward to following up with you guys on Wednesday. And when this recording is finished, okay, I'll provide it in the announcements section. In addition, I'll be providing another link that I'm gonna provide with additional openings, okay, starting this week, that we can do like various one-on-ones and things like that. For those of you that I was supposed to meet with over the weekend, I humbly apologize. I was sicker than a dog, okay? But that's okay, we'll meet this week, all right? I promise you. Anyways, I love you guys, enjoy. I hope this was valuable. And again, no worries, we'll work through this together, okay? I appreciate you all's flexibility. Okay, you guys have a great evening, all right?
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
No problem.
Thank you,
Bye.
Anna.
Have a good night.
No problem, you too.
Have a good night.